You ever had that moment when one of your favorite video games gets a remake? What's up, guys? This is Michael from ChickenTalks, and today is my video game talks, where I talk about the latest video game news, updates, and reviews, and I give you my thoughts on it. Today, we are going to be talking about a trilogy that came out on the PlayStation, but now they made a remake of it with better graphics, more levels, and it is now in 4K. That's right. We are going to be talking about the Crash Bandicoot Sane Trilogy. Now, from everything I have played so far, which is Crash Bandicoot 1, Crash Bandicoot 2, and half of Crash Bandicoot 3, so you can kind of consider this as a unfaithful review considering I haven't finished the entire game. But anyway, I consider the Crash Bandicoot Sane Trilogy to be the definitive version of all three of those games. If you want to pick up Crash 1, 2, or 3 on the PlayStation, just buy this instead. Unless you don't have a PS4, then go ahead and buy that if you want. But in matter of fact, no! Pick your ass up a PS4 and go buy this right now, because this trilogy is completely, utterly phenomenal. I recommend anyone who loves a good platformer to go pick this up because it is so good. All three games on that trilogy is better than all three of those games on the PlayStation. And that is how a remake that's how it should be. That is what it is supposed to be. If you're gonna do a remake, make it better. Now, to be fair, I still wouldn't make it the #1 greatest remake of all time, because Resident Evil still holds that up on a high scale, because not only did they just remake it, but they also added stuff in it and improved stuff in it that the first one barely had. So, to be fair, Resident Evil 1 is that they did so much to improve that remake. Until they hit that level, that's when you have a definitive version. 100%. This is a 95%. I don't know. I don't know numbers that well. I've been watching the Scott Steiner's mathematics course, and I think I'm like a scholarship at that school.
If we used to go one-on-one and then add 66 and 2/3%, I got 141 and 2/3 chance of winning at sacrifice. See, Joe!
Matter of fact, I love how it starts up. It starts up with Crash Bandicoot right beside a bunch of boxes, and then the boxes jump in this machine, and they become the HD, better graphics version of the boxes, and then Crash Bandicoot jumps in the machine, and he becomes 4K. So all the cutscenes are exactly the same in the game, except they're all in nice, beautiful graphics now in HD and 4K now, or 4K. Now, one difference that people will notice is that all the voices in this game are from the voices of Crash of the Titans or Mind Over Mutant or Twinsanity, if they are the same voices. I'm pretty sure some voices changed in Twinsanity when they went to Mind Over Mutant and Titans, but one voice that I'm happy that they did change, even though Clancy Brown was great as Cortex, we now have Lex Lane voicing Cortex, which I'm 100% fine with, because in my opinion, this might just be me, but I prefer Lex Lane as Cortex more than I prefer Clancy Brown. When I think of Dr. Cortex, I automatically think of Lex Lane. Kind of like how in Sonic the Hedgehog, I automatically think of Mike Pollock when I think of Dr. Eggman, because in my opinion, I think they are the definitive voices for those characters. I don't think that for Sonic. I don't think like Jason Griffin or how do I not know his name? The one who's voicing them now. I don't know how the hell I don't know his name right now, and I always do know his name. Not Ryan Drummond. He is another one that people think is a definitive Sonic. They were not talking about Sonic, but when I do remember it, I'll get back to it. But anyway, Lex Lane playing Cortex is great, and I'm 100% fine with that. And those voices mixed in with the better graphics makes the story. It's still the same story, but I mean, it makes it more fun to watch. It's like the graphics in here is like watching a Pixar film, kind of like, even though there's not that many cutscenes, like there wasn't that many cutscenes in the original game, because they're the same cutscenes, just in HD and more voiced. Well, not more voiced, not more. See, I'm just saying stupid stuff now. It's still the same. It's still just as voiced as much as the other ones. but it's in HD. That's it. That's the only difference. And like I said, I'm just loving Lex Lang as Luthor. Lex Lang is Lex Luthor, yes. Did he play Lex Luthor? No, that was Clancy Brown. See, it works. See, Clancy Brown was Lex Luthor, and Lex Lang is playing Cortex. But anyway, I'm loving the cutscenes, and I love Lex Lang's Cortex, so I'm happy about it. But I know what most of you are wondering. I know what I was wondering while I first played the damn game was, how was the gameplay? Well, I'll tell you right now, the gameplay is Roger Craig Smith. That was his name. Roger Craig Smith was the voice actor. He's the current voice actor for Sonic. I know I'm off topic now, but it was really stuck in my head for a while, and I was just thinking what the hell his name was. Anyway, gameplay! Now, the gameplay in this game is just as good as it was in the trilogy on the PlayStation. Now, I will say, the one thing they did really change in a way was the jumping mechanic. Like, kind of the way you jumped in a way, it feels weird at first, but once you get used to the controls of it, of like the jumping and stuff, you'll be a pro at it. You'll be really good at it, because it took me a while, because it felt weird, and like playing the first game, going through, like, I fell through more bottomless pits at first than I hoped to play in the first game out of all games, though the first game is the hardest, so I can actually understand that. But on like the first 2 levels, I'm jumping in bottomless pits. So I'm just wondering, like, what the hell is this? I almost thought, like, man, this game is terrible. What is this? I'm already dying and stuff. But no, it's just, it's weird because it's not the exact same controls you get jumping as the other games. But when you get used to it, you'll understand how it works. Like, you know, like, okay, don't move the stick that far, don't move the stick, go very slow with it, like light tap, don't go too far, don't go too high. Like, that's pretty much like, once you'll get used to it. Like, once you get to the second game, you'll already be used to it by the time, so you won't have any problems doing it. And plus you have to slide with it too, so it won't be that hard. And also you also get Coco as a playable character for once, instead of just having Coco like drive around. It's kind of like Crash Bandicoot, not Warp, Crash Bandicoot: The Wrath of Cortex, where she was a playable level. She was a playable character, not playable level. I don't know. Yeah, she's a playable level. It's called. You go on the inside. Coco's attached. That sounds terrible. Anyway, forget everything I just said right there. Anyway. Anyway, you play as Coco, and you can play as Coco in any level, unlike Crash Bandicoot: The Wrath of Cortex, where you played as her in some levels, which I'm fine with, but I wish they did give her some difference in movesets, because she literally plays exactly like Crash. It's just like, oh, if you want to be a girl, you can be a girl. Like, pretty much just for all the people, like, yeah. But I'll say this: it's a great inclusion to have her. I mean, it's no harm done. So. It was a good decision, so yeah. Don't really know what else to say about it. But one good thing is we will get extras in the game as DLC. DLC that we're most likely going to pay for. I know why the game was $40 now, because the $20 is going to be for the DLC we're going to have to pay for this game! But anyway, Crash Bandicoot: The Insane Trilogy is probably the #2 greatest Crash Bandicoot game of all time. #1 still Twinsanity. I'm sorry, I have a lot of love for it, and I think that game's so damn funny. But the fact that it is the #2 greatest Crash Bandicoot game out of those PlayStation games, the fact that I'm saying that is big, because those 3 games are all phenomenal games. And the fact that I'm saying that this remake is better than those 3 games is something that I never thought I'd say, though I never expected a remake to begin with. And I'm just glad that the remake we did get was great. It had, the gameplay is great, even though the jumping is weird, but once you get used to it, it is so easy and fun. And the installment of Coco is great, and everything that they did in it, and the HD graphics, and I'm not gonna say it, but the graphics are great in it, and everything, and from the voices and everything, are just phenomenal. This is the best version of all 3 of those games. You do not need, if you have a PS4, you do not need to buy any of those games on the PlayStation. You can just pick this up. just pick this up. So if you're a fan of Crash Bandicoot, I recommend you pick up this game. And if you're a fan of platformers in general, I recommend you to pick this game up. And even though you're probably gonna play it and be like, man, this is hard. Crash Bandicoot 1 is harder than Crash Bandicoot 2 and 3. So don't expect it to get harder, even though there are hard parts, of course, in 2 and 3. Believe me, the first one is hard. And matter of fact, it was harder in the PlayStation version, because in the Insane Trilogy, you finally get stuff that wasn't in the first game. Like the fact that you can save the game, actually. You can save the game! You couldn't do that in the other version. You had to at least collect all of Tana's bonus things or get a gem in order to save. You can just save the game now. It's Sanctuary. And also with the box collecting, you had to collect all the boxes without dying in the first game in order to collect the gem. But you can die with however you want, as long as you have a checkpoint and come back to it and still get the gem. It's things like those that makes it so much better, especially the depth perception in the first game. It makes it, even though there's a lot of depth perception at first, when you don't understand controls that much, when it's hard to, like, once you get a feel of the controls, that depth perception is gone. But anyway, Crash Bandicoot 1 on the Insane Trilogy is great. It's better than the first version, 100%. Crash Bandicoot 2 is as well, and Crash Bandicoot 3. So, my final verdict for Crash Bandicoot the Insane Trilogy is a golden seal of approval. Because so far, everything that they have done in this game pretty much beat all of the games on the PlayStation. Oh wait, I forgot to talk about, there was one thing that was a flaw in the third game, and that was Coco's boat section. What the hell did you do? How did they what did they do wrong? I was not expecting the controls to be so damn clunky. It's like, you need to go in a straight line. The moment you move, even like an inch, like this is pretty much the boat, and if you go, it's too late. You can't collect anything. You're just going all over the place. It's so damn, I don't know if clunky's the word for it, but it's just like, even when you go up a ramp, you gotta make sure you're going straight on the ramp, because if you're going outside, and there's boxes up in the air too, so you better, nope, nope. So you're gonna be doing this a while until you actually get it to a straight line, and then whoop. But yeah, anyway, it still deserves a golden seal of approval, even though just that one thing out of all the great things that are in this game, that's not really much. And I can't wait to see, they better have a lot of lows in a DLC if we are paying money for that DLC, but it better be free. It better be free. It's not gonna be free, but if it is, more love to you, Naughty Dog and Activision, the people made it. But yeah, anyway, the game was great. It deserves going all the way. Of course, it's not platinum, but neither were the trilogy games platinum. Now that's pretty much, if they did hit Resident Evil level in a remake, it probably would have been platinum. But since it really is the exact same game out of all those three games, it's the exact same version of that, just with better graphics, but it's the exact same layout and stuff. It still gets the golden seal, just like all of those games got the golden seal, except for Crash Bandicoot 1, I think got silver seal, I believe. Yeah, I consider that silver seal, well, where 2 and 3 are both golden seals. So the fact that this gets the golden seal, yeah, still great. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, peck that like button with your chicken beaks. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and subscribe to my channel. This is Michael, signing out.